Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. We've got some thunderstorms possible in the second part of the weekend, and I felt like this was a good topic for our Facebook Live video tonight. Should you expect any severe weather with our storms that move through in the second part? The other thing that I'm going to discuss in tonight's Facebook Live video is the fact that we're already starting to see a few grass lawns in our area starting to turn brown. I actually think that we could be in an early stage of a little bit of a problem there. You do not want to go dry in the late part of spring. If you do, you got problems. So normally if you go dry in the late part of spring, you turn into the potential for a hot summer. So that's one of the things that I'm going to discuss. We'll go into thunderstorms, second part of the weekend, anything strong, and then we'll go into, as we move forward, that rainfall amounts in the next 7 days. Before we jump into the video, I want to ask you guys a question. We are riding 77 nights in a row with above 1,000 shares. And you're probably thinking, man, that is impressive. And it is. So we don't want to end that streak, of course. But what we have is about 125 people in here. And I debated whether I wanted to do a video tonight on a night where it's generally clear, and do I want to put our streak on the line. So here's the question, guys, to you. It requires about 10 shares from every single person in here to make it up to 1,000 shares. Thumbs up. Can we make it up to 1,000 shares? Thumbs down, can we not? Because I'm not the one that does the shares. I'll add 2 because that's all it lets me do, but you guys would be responsible for the rest. So can you guys make it tonight, or did I make a mistake by doing a Facebook Live video on a nice Friday night, putting our streak in jeopardy? All right, seeing a lot of thumbs up flying across the screen. So what that would mean is it's on you. Like I said, I have no ability actually to add to our shares. Only you do. That means you guys have to share a lot tonight to make it up to our 1,000 shares. Everybody needs to share the video at least 10 times each if we're going to make it up to our 1,000 shares. And I will add 2 in here, despite the fact that, as is commonly the case, Facebook is painfully slow for me tonight. I'll have to close and reopen the browser because it's moving real slow. So let me close that and reopen it so I've got actually a better chance of getting that shared out. All right, so let's start it off. You guys are saying we can do it. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up going across the screen, so let's get it started, guys. I need 10 shares from each of you. That'll get us up to 1,000, and we'll see where we stand when we get to the about 8:45 mark, and I'll give you guys an update. I need to give one more share over to WDRB Weather so that we can I can give you my 2 shares to try to help towards that goal as well. And somebody asked me, and people do on a regular basis, why share? The reason that it's important to share is because it gets the video out to more people. More people to see the video, for me, the more likely I am to always continue to do them. So let me share the video here now onto WDRB Weather, and then we'll jump into our discussion. So give me 1 second. I don't know what it is with me, but I am plagued with the slowest browsers, whether it's Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer. I seem to just be plagued with the slowest internet ever sometimes. All right, so I'm going to try to get this on a WDRB Weather. Should take me about another 20 to 30 minutes and it'll be up. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but then we'll jump into our discussion here. So actually, I'm going to show you guys just how long it takes so you can see that I'm not messing. So watch actually how long it takes to get the computer sometimes to respond over here. You see, like, it's, hello? Are you there? Are you awake? Try to put my title that I put on here from Marc Weinberg and watch how long it takes to populate. Okay, there it goes, real slow, and then just drags for a while. So you can see, guys, I was not lying about the fact that my Facebook on my computer is the slowest ever. All right, so we've got our shares out there. Topic of tonight is going to be thunderstorms possible second part of the weekend. Do you need to be concerned about any strong or severe thunderstorms? Josh is in here saying, what does Jay say? don't know, but if you're trying to get me to throw a dart against Jay Cardosi, you chose the wrong person. He's a good meteorologist, and honestly, I got nothing but respect for him. So, moving into this, do we expect any strong to severe thunderstorms in the second part of the weekend? Remember what we look for when we analyze a severe weather threat. When we analyze the severe weather threat, we look for three ingredients. We look for warmth and moisture, which is basically instability. So instability is fuel for the thunderstorms. Without fuel, you just get regular rain. So fuel's really, really important at the basic lowest levels, even to get thunder. Next, what we look for is wind shear. What is wind shear? Wind shear is simple wind energy. If you don't have any wind energy, the air goes straight up and it literally goes straight back down. And the problem is that precipitation loads on the top of the updraft and then just basically collapses everything. When a storm collapses, it doesn't produce a large, organized severe weather threat. You can see severe, but you only see it for like, short, localized areas. So it's really important that you have a lot of wind energy. And finally, what you need is something to force the thunderstorms. And I can tell you in the forcing mechanism area, what we're going to be looking at is a storm that's out towards the west. It's not within our area right now, but the storm that we're watching is this guy right now that's moving along the coast of Canada. It will come up over the top and then try to dive towards the Ohio Valley. My opinion on this one is it doesn't really look very strong. So the forcing on Sunday, quite frankly, is not going to be that impressive. How about the fuel? Let's look at the fuel values late in the day on Sunday. Are they impressive? We're going to start off by looking at the NAM computer model. And in the NAM computer model, we will hover over our area right here. Fuel values last week, in the weekend, were in the neighborhood of 5,000 units of instability. Right now, they're for Sunday, the data shows 400. Wait. We had 5,000 units of instability last weekend, and we didn't get a lot of severe weather reports in our area? Correct. And this weekend we're talking about 400? Correct. Well, the question is that only showing up within the NAM? By the way, wind energy in the NAM is not just pathetic, but it almost doesn't exist. It shows about 10 mile an hour of wind energy, which is way below criteria. We normally need in the neighborhood of 40 knot or stronger winds from the surface to 6 miles, somewhere in that area to support organized severe. On Sunday on the GFS computer model, while it shows slightly more instability, it shows pathetic wind energy too, in the neighborhood of 15 knots or 17 miles an hour. Way substandard. But the fuel value at about 1,200 would be marginally supportive of severe weather. Finally, we will look at the European computer model, and you can see it shows a little more instability in the neighborhood of 1,800 to 2,000 units of instability on Sunday. But remember, just a couple of days ago, it showed several thousand. So this is coming way down and clearly shows that there has been some issues with how the European computer model is dealing with this storm system. To reinforce the utter lack of wind energy on Sunday, I want to show you the GFS computer model winds 1 mile above the ground. And they are not just weak on Sunday, but they are pathetic. 11 miles an hour at 8 a.m. 5 p.m. they're 9 miles an hour. In St. Louis, the wind energy 1 mile above the ground is 0. It is literally nothing. And then by 1 a.m. on Monday morning, it's 7 miles an hour in Louisville. By 7 a.m. on Monday morning, it is 8 miles an hour. So the bottom line is the wind energy is not just weak, it is pathetic on Sunday. And, you know, there are times, obviously, you guys, if you watch me regularly, you know that I agree with the Storms Prediction sometimes, Storms Prediction Center, and there's a lot of times where I totally don't agree. And what you can see is that the Storms Prediction Center is not including us even in what they call their marginal risk. They're just putting general thunderstorms, and I would agree. There is no severe weather threat on Sunday. In fact, there's not even a guarantee that all of us are going to see thunderstorms. So from there, what I would like to do is look at rainfall totals within the computer models over the next 7 days. And you can see I'm starting in the now. And what I want to show you here is what is concerning to me. The computer models in the next 10 days are not showing much rain. And it's bad. So the GFS is showing for Paoli 4/10. It shows a ½ an inch in Tell City. The GFS shows 3/10 of an inch in Louisville, and it shows most of that rain coming on its Sunday, Monday time frame. E-Town 4/10 and Campbellsville 4/10. And equally bad is the Euro for Paoli at 4/10, 6/10 in Seymour. It's a little bit more generous in Louisville at 7/10, 8/10 of an inch for Frankfurt, and the Euro shows in Campbellsville 4/10 of an inch. So it's not showing much. And to reinforce that, here's the this is the WPC's rainfall totals for our region over the next 7 days. Notice Missouri and Illinois, they're showing literally nothing. And when you get a little closer into our area, you can see they're also on board with the idea that this is not going to produce a lot of rain. Only 2/10 to 3/10 in Louisville in the next 7 days. So I think it's time to start discussing a couple of things. Somebody asked me on my Facebook page today and said, Mark, my lawn is getting a little brown. When are you going to bring me some rain? I will tell you guys that I started watering my lawn this week. Now, that's not good when I'm watering my lawn in early June, because this is normally not when you start to do that. My opinion is the next 7 days are not going to be generous at all with rainfall. So if your lawn is browning, you need to start to water it. Second, this is late spring. And when you go dry in late spring, you set yourself up for problems in the early part of summer. So in the last 7 days, Louisville has seen 1/10 of an inch of rain. That's it. I think we're going to see less than 1/4 in the next 7 days, in my opinion, and we may not see any. That means almost 2 weeks in late spring with virtually no rain. This is not good. This is something that we are absolutely going to need to watch. I've been asked a couple of times what my thinking is for summer, and I will tell you I haven't spent a lot of time looking at that until today, but I will tell you that we got the early part of summer. To me, in my opinion, we've got some problems. I think that this lack of rain is going to make it likely hot for the early part of summer. I think it's going to be a hot late June and July. Now, where we go from there, the second part of the summers can be somewhat complicated because rainfall in our area sometimes can come from the tropics, but it's an issue. Now, as far as does this mean we could go into drought? In my opinion, it is a distinct possibility, and we know that when we get dry in our area and go into drought, we can sometimes see serious heat developing. So you look at the Climate Prediction Center's forecast for summer, because I've been asked this a lot. What EC means in equal chance. It means there's no definitive signal within the data. And you can see they have over the central U.S. and EC, that equal chance, but you can see over our area, they've got a 40% chance of warmer than normal summer. And I got to be honest, if you were to ask me my opinion at this particular point right now, I think statistically speaking, there's a high likelihood that this summer will be hotter than normal. So, you asked the question. I have given you guys the answer on what I'm thinking for summer in terms of heat. I think it's going to be a hot summer. I think it's going to be warmer than normal. And I think a lot of this plays into the fact that we're going into a dry period in late spring, which is not what we want to see. Lastly, I'll mention one last thing. I've talked on Facebook Live a number of times about what we call a death ridge, which is essentially a death to tornado season in the lower plains and into the lower Ohio Valley. My opinion is the death ridge is developing now, and our spring tornado season can be declared over in the next few days. By the 7th, I think it'll basically be the end of spring tornado season. So I think that we endured a busy one. There was 19 tornadoes within our area this spring, which is a lot. And it was a busy spring, but as far as those that kind of worry about tornado season, and I get it, it's a rough time of the year here. In my opinion, tornado season is officially over. So we're at 645 shares, guys. You're doing pretty well. But what it means is I still need 5 shares from everybody in here to make it up over 1,000. I know that that's a lot of work, but you guys never fail, you guys never come up short, and you guys can continue to make it. Let's open it up to question. Sean saying good evening. Sean, hope you're having a great evening. Any questions across the bottom here? I'll do my best to answer. Tina's asking everybody to share. So Tina's on the same communication method, or going after the same thing I am, and that is let's get up to 1,000 shares. We got Mandy's with an I, both with an I's that are talking in here. Sue's saying glad there's no more tornadoes. So Sue, I want to clarify that. It doesn't mean there's no more tornadoes. What it does mean is that the belt of stronger mid-level winds that normally produces the more intense supercell thunderstorms that produce larger tornado events here is moved and shifting to the north. You still can get isolated tornadoes within summertime thunderstorms, but remember, they're not as common, so that's what we're talking about. Trisha with 20 total shares. Thank you, Trisha. Gwen's asking about hurricane season. Looks like it'd probably be a more active than normal hurricane season, would be my opinion. Oh, Tina's saying the one of the Mandys is her sister. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mandy. Joyce with a total of 15 shares. Guys, after you share 5 or more times, let me know below, because I want to give you guys a shout out. Mary with 5 shares. You get a thumbs up. Thank you. Sue said thank you for the info. Absolutely. Tina with 10 shares. You get a thumbs up. Sean, making me choke over here. 210 shares from Sean. One of the kings in here tonight. Laverne with 6 shares. Thank you. Cassandra's asking where I'm from. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm a meteorologist for Indiana and Kentucky. We call ourselves Kentuckiana, which goes about 3 counties north of the Ohio River into Indiana, and goes about 4 counties south of the Ohio River into Kentucky. People that are asking timing for rain chances this weekend, I'll go through that on WDRB News at 10, the timing. What I wanted to focus on is severe weather potential in this video. Tina with a bunch of shares, thank you. Vicky with 5 shares, thank you. Joe with multi-shares, thank you. Shay saying 29 shares, thank you. Michelle's asking about weather towards Atlanta. Let me look at that real quick. I assume you're talking this weekend. So the beauty of the Facebook Live video is that you can get Q&A from a weatherman at basically any time. So some scattered thunderstorms, best chance is going to be on Sunday. I'd say Saturday, not so much. Sunday has a much better chance of seeing some storms. And then we'll go into some scattered storms Monday, Tuesday. So Diane saying still beautiful weather in Charlestown. It's fantastic in Louisville as well. 5 shares from Mandy. Thank you, Mandy. 12 shares from Donna. Thank you, Donna. Craig with 15 shares. Thank you. It is interesting when you talk about heat, there's always a group that's going to be like, woohoo, I love the heat. I'm ready for the pool. And then there's the people that are like, oh, man, I don't want to go out there in that nasty heat. So anybody that is heading to the U of L game tomorrow or the UK regionals for baseball, weather's going to be great. It'll be nice. I'm going to be at the U of L game because I'm the meteorologist for the NCAA regionals in Louisville. And I would be next week if Louisville makes it to the super regional. So I'll be out at that game. If you guys are out there, post, let me know you guys are out there so I can hopefully say hi to some people. Louisville right now is up 9-6. Hopefully they win the game. So Tina said, would love to go to a pool if I had one. Totally get that. Bill with 5 shares. Thank you, Bill. Joe with a ton of shares. Thank you, Joe. Where are we on our shares? We are at 771. We're going to make a run at 78 nights in a row, guys. I need 2 shares from each of you. Problem is we're running out of time, so we need to get those shares in quick. Gwen's saying she suffers from asthma. So, Gwen, be careful tomorrow because we have another air quality alert. So just kind of keep it probably a little bit less on the strenuous side tomorrow. Jacob recap. Storms are possible late Sunday. Doesn't look like they would be organized severe. Can't rule out pulse, but not organized severe weather. 5 shares from Karen. Thank you, Karen. 50 more shares from Sean. Sean is on fire tonight. Sean is helping power us towards the 1,000 share goal tonight. Shay saying, you know you're an awesome meteorologist when you're watching while you're fishing. I appreciate that. Thank you. 10 shares from Tina. Thank you, Tina. Michelle saying I can deal with the heat, not the humidity. I get that. I definitely get that. 60 shares from Tabby. Thank you, Tabby. You're helping us get there. We are at 829 shares. You guys still got some work ahead of you. I know it's asking a lot, but you only got 5 minutes left. So now what I need you to do is share and share often. Chris Wilson's in here. Chris, we're going after 1,000 for the 78th night in a row. We're short 200 now, so we need everybody to get a little bit active. Tia's asking about the air quality. We're in the orange level tomorrow. We could conceivably be in one again on Sunday, but Monday we'll get a little bit more breeze, so it should help. Sean's saying I'm the best weatherman. I appreciate that, Sean. Thank you. Jacob's asking if allergy season is over. No way. It's only getting started. Allergy season goes through the first freeze of the fall, so we got a lot more ways to go. Tina and Chris are both talking about we can do 1,000 easy. Jimmy is joining us out of Springfield. Thank you, Jimmy. Laverne with 8 shares. Thank you. Let me update you on our shares because we don't have about 4 minutes left. But before I jump back into that, let me quickly tell you guys what I'm going to be discussing on WDRB News at 10. 10 o'clock, top of the hour. It's fantastic outside right now. It's going to be hot tomorrow. We may make a run at 90 degrees. So I'm going to go through the first part of the weekend forecast. WDRB News, 10 o'clock, top of the hour. 10:22. Thunderstorms are possible in the second part of the weekend. Now, not everybody's going to see rain. Let me say that again. Not everybody's going to see rain. So I'll talk about the locations most likely to catch some thunderstorms late in the weekend on WDRB News at 10. And if you're not a fan of this heat, on WDRB News, what I'm going to be discussing is when you get to enjoy 70s, low humidity, plenty of sunshine. What's not to smile about with that? That's on WDRB News at 10:37. The reason I tell you guys when because I know your lives are busy and I know everybody's running around. And what this does is it allows you to tune in at the exact time I come on to do my weather so you can get what you need and keep on going about your business. 10, 10:22, 10:37. We are sitting at 989 shares. We've only got a couple minutes left in our Facebook Live video. So guys, I need you to press the share button a bunch of times so we can get up over 1,000 shares for the 78th night in a row. Caleb said we need a party if we get to 100. We need to actually calculate when we would actually get to 100 shares if we, or 100 times over 1,000, which, just think about that. 100 times over 1,000 is nuts. I mean, it's nuts. If you kind of consider the number of shares that we have had over the lifetime of our Facebook Live videos, the numbers are borderline obscene. So it is wild what you guys do on a nightly basis. Let me update you on where we are in our shares. If we've made it up over 1,000, I'm going to rest my voice for a little while. The grass pollen is not friendly to Mr. Weinberg, so I will rest my voice a little bit for WDRB News at 10 if we're up over 1,000. And remember, guys, even after the video ends, you can continue to like, you can continue to love the video, and you can continue to share. And I love seeing that number continue to swell even after the video ends. We are at 1,224 shares. That is 78 nights in a row above 1,000 shares. Give yourself some thumbs up, some happy faces, some hearts for doing it. 78 nights in a row. That's wild. On Monday, we're going to try to make it up to 79, and next week we'll try to get over 80. Within the month, we'll try to get up over 100 shares, 100 nights in a row with above 1,000 shares. I'm going to rest my voice for a little while. You guys know where to find me at 10, 10:22, and 10:27 on WDRB News, and I will see you guys then. See you at 10.